views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hello, this is Maria Monti. I am not a doctor, nor do I claim to give medical advice, treatment, or diagnosis. These segments will be covering medical information as quoted from medical doctors and other holistic practitioners in their published works, where references can be provided upon request.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Wow. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yep, we're ready for another segment with Maria Monti. And we're talking today about, just so you know, we're talking today about a revolutionary bra design. Now, in the previous segment, we talked about what does it mean to get into a healthy mode when it comes to what us ladies are putting on our bodies, right? What we've been accustomed to compromising about and what the impact is in a general way. But today we're looking at what is it in the industry that absolutely must change and what are women experiencing? Now, for those of you that may or may not know who Maria is, I want to say you're talking about somebody that has been in the world looking at postural therapy, but more importantly, looking at what it means for us to be able to have an essential core firm structure, our bodies being that of strong, so we're not actually hurting ourselves by just standing. Today, get ready for this. She stepped in and said, yes, I'm going to do something about it. And hence, here we are with Maria Monti and the Healthy Bra Company. Maria, it's great to have you. Great to be back.
Thank you for having me again. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about revolutionary. And we touched upon this in the first show a little bit, but we generally don't put the words revolutionary bra design all in one sentence because it doesn't exist except for what you do. Can you talk about what that means? Because most people are like, what are they talking about?
Okay. Well, and once again, we'll go back to, the wartime eras where there was a revolutionary fiber created. It was in 1931, and it was elastic and fabric that had a two-way stretch. And so with that, the industry started to change, and then we move forward and we add the concept of the underwire, and that is what actually developed into what we have available to us today. Now, before that, there were a lot of women who they had time to sit at home and think about these things and had sewing machines, and they were sewing every day. And so some of the bra designs had actually been created by women just doing that, is saying, okay, how can I create something functional for me? And I'm willing to sew it for myself. That's not practical today. Okay, but that's in a way how it started. But when you're talking about the revolutionary design that I'm discussing, it's very interesting because this dates back to, in a funny kind of way, Howard Hughes and creating a bra for Jane Russell for one of his movies. Right. So in the censorship of the day, she could show her ample breasts and she could have them on display, but the censorship of the time said no jiggling. So he actually had to create some sort of contraption that would make sure that she didn't move as she was, going through her work. And so that kind of led to aeronautics engineers being involved in bra design. So that
Yes.
that's pretty revolutionary, if you ask me. I mean, I was floored when I heard that, and it totally brought all my science background to me and said, you know what, this is a great idea. And then there were a couple of brothers who were also aeronautics engineers, and they came forth with more designs. And so you end up with this cantilever suspension and shelving that is inside the bra, which if you look at it from the outside, you can't see that. But when you look at the inside and then you put it on, you actually can see and feel this science in action. And then I just drove it home with, how do we make this work on a certain body type? Because not every woman is going to be the same body type. So we've got a great structure that's going to hold and support the weight of the breasts. But then bottom line is, how do we make it comfortable and functional and workable, for the average woman? And they continued to make these with a variety of styles to accommodate body types. And then the sizing range, a lot of the bras were actually designed with 100 to 200 cup sizes, changing from a quarter of an inch at a time. So in that way, you take all those aspects and you can bring it down to the closest thing to custom made. And I don't know about you, but unless you're the Queen of England, custom made's pretty expensive, and most ladies can't do that. And even though we used to offer that when I was in Bellingham, because I had a superb couturier, it became too time consuming to do. And this kind of design with the other aspects of fitting for body type, etc., we're able to cater to 90 to 95% of the women that called in and came in. And so I thought, it's not necessary that we do a custom made anymore. This design is going to work for most ladies. And so that's where I started this kind of bra revolution.
Well, the revolution, but let's talk about a real revolutionary idea. Let's get back to some of the percentages here for a minute. The percentage of women wearing the wrong bra is staggering.
Yes.
Staggering. I mean, I'm not sure, and I would have to do some fact checking, but I'm not sure what other industry could get away with something like that. Is it just that as women, we don't know that? I mean, what is it?
Well, kind of hard to say in this one, because who created those numbers? When I was trained in this particular bra fitting, we were just told 85% of women are wearing the wrong bra. And that was in, I'm going to say around 2002. Well, if I'm doing my job and the other ladies who were fitted were being taught how to fit these bras too, were doing their job, it can't be 85% anymore. It's getting better all the time. But we still have a long way to go. So to me, the statistics maybe aren't accurate, but for the number of women that I still see, there's still a lot of women who are not in a bra that actually could be the best case scenario for them. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's my thoughts.
I mean, the part of the problem is that, when we have a number like 85% of women wearing the wrong bra, that's probably 85% of the women that are doing something that's not in their best interest, because that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about problems that arise. We're talking, I mean, there's such a range of what we're going to cover in this show as we keep going. But we just suck it up and keep marching on. You've provided, though, an option for people. You've given them alternatives and possibilities, right?
Yes.
And so, but you're also a postural therapist. So you're not only doing this because it makes sense, but you understand the health and the mechanics of this as well.
Absolutely. And I encourage women to take part in the services that I offer. And, a lot of ladies don't have time, and that's one of the reasons that they go and buy off the rack. They run into the store, they think they know their size, they grab it and they go. But, when we focused on giving ourselves more health and healing time and, really focusing on what could be the best for us. So looking at not just the bra, but our posture, et cetera, and then saying, okay, I'm committed to changing things in a better way, but I know this is going to require some time. So, they'll fill out the questionnaires for me. They'll talk to me on the phone. All of that's free of charge. And then if they make their appointment, then we spend 2 hours with each other the first two times, the first time. Yeah. And that not only is to go over what we've already discussed, but then to show them what is new and different about this. And it takes some time to narrow it down to what's going to be the best case scenario for them. But in the meantime, if they have issues of back pain, neck pain, or whatever that's related to their bra, once I see them in it, then we can actually talk about those things too. So it's just a woman's got to take the time, to say, okay, I'm worth it. And I want to get to the bottom of this. I'm tired of just going in and grabbing something and dealing with the same thing all the time.
Yeah. And, I remember, and I think you and I were talking about it once. I remember Oprah made a big deal about it. Wow. Like, in the early 2000s, but then all of a sudden, then she didn't. And, part of the conversation, though, is not just about what it means to really step into something that's actually good for your body, but there are other issues that I think women bring up. And we're going to talk about that when we come back. We're going to talk about what do women ask? What are some of the things they ask when they're working with you? But more importantly, what is it that they're looking for? What the heck are women looking for? And
can I make a quick comment about Oprah?
Yeah.
So, she did a show in 2005, and it was called The Bra Revolution. And then she revisited it in 2015. Yeah. And what she did was a wonderful thing for women in the sense that she opened the conversation up. She basically told women, one of the things you really got to do is get fitted by a professional. So if she did nothing else but that, she got thousands, maybe millions of women, who knows how many people watch that show, et cetera, to be conscious of, oh, you know what, perhaps a professional can help me to get me into the right size or the right bra. So, I give her kudos for that, but that was a breakthrough. Now we got to make another one. And the other one is more specific to the nature of a woman's body herself.
Well, look, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about what does this mean? What are the questions that women are asking? And what are some of the answers to the questions? And also, for those of you out there that are listening, for sure that we do not give this conversation the kind of time that it warrants. But before we do that, Maria, what is the best way for folks to find out more about you? How can they find out about the Healthy Bra Company? And how do they schedule an appointment with you?
By phone is probably the best way to do it, 360-815-3205, because then I can discuss particulars with the lady. If she wants just some basic information, she can go to the website, www.thehealthybracompany, all spelled out, .com.
Awesome. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
This segment is brought to you by The Healthy Bra Company.
Calling all ladies. Are you struggling with neck, back, shoulder pain, or postural issues? You actually might have a related bra problem. Talk to Maria Monti at The Healthy Bra Company. She is a professional postural therapist who offers custom-fitted, custom-altered bras in 2,500 size combinations specific to your body type, shape, size, anatomical features, and breast weight. Call Maria today to find out more at 360-815-3205.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It's great to have Maria Monti joining us here today. with the Healthy Bra Company. And we're doing an entire series. So again, this is the second conversation that we're having about this. We're talking about a revolutionary bra design and what an opportunity this is for the industry at large to do a little evolving. Maria, before we talk very specifically about situations, real people, real studies, real examples, one more time, let folks know the website.
www.thehealthybracompany, all spelled out.com.
Awesome. Look, before the break, I was saying, so what do women really want? And I think the best way to talk about that is to really talk about some very specific examples of what women have experienced and what they've come to know.
Yes, absolutely. So I can cite a couple of examples here. Now, as you asked me, women come to me for all different reasons and they find me in all different ways. So I'll mention Kate, who actually came to me a number of years ago. She was about to get married and she found out about me somehow, and it led her to think that I would give her a specialty bra that she could wear under her wedding dress. Now, that usually is not my specialty because most wedding dresses need strapless or very thin straps or what have you. And for our bra, in order for the cantilever suspension to work, you need straps. So I talked to her further about it, and she says, no, I've got really ample sleeves and shoulder area, so I can cover up any bra. But I want you to give me something so I look really good in my dress. And so, I don't normally cater to that, but I did what I normally do. And this was a woman who had had scoliosis her entire life. And she had all kinds of other issues. And so I kind of educated her along the way, but focused more on her specific need because that's what she came to me for. But she had some interest in the other things. So I fitted her. I actually gave her some custom alterations because she needed those based on the scoliosis, etc. And got married, was very happy in the dress, etc. And then I heard from her about 2 or 3 years later. And she had had a horrible accident falling downstairs and basically dislocating her shoulder. So she had not only the scoliosis from the past, but now this terrible injury that affected her whole skeletal system, musculoskeletal system. So when she came into me, we took a different focus this time, and she actually paid more attention to what we were talking about. I think that, when you're at a wedding situation, you're not really thinking about other things. So she was like, you can really help me with my posture, the skin. And so with her permission, I took before and after pictures of her in her bra, the old bra, and then the new bra with the new posture. And we could actually see postural changes that were taking place immediately because she had support on both sides of her body. And for anybody who doesn't know what scoliosis is, it's a lateral curvature of the spine. And so you can be leaning in one direction. And then, of course, with the trauma of the injury, she was really compensating. And so she was about to go into physical therapy. And I said, look, you need to explain to whoever you're going to go see that this is what's going on, from my opinion, and it can be helped in a number of ways. And I explained how the bra would factor into this. And so she wanted her before and after pictures to basically take into her doctor and her physical therapist. So we ended up going through the back door on this one. A lot of times, medical professionals will come to me directly and say, I have a patient who I want to refer to you. Well, this was her educating her medical professionals about what a postural therapist was doing in relationship to bras that actually would help her recovery from this terrible injury that she had.
Well, you just ripped a piece off of my headlines because you pretty much, I thought for a minute, wow, is she talking about me? Because, part of this is, you go through and it takes like a sports injury, right? On some unrelated part of your body, only to figure out that there's more going on than you can imagine. But we don't really know, or we're not aware that there actually is a solution that doesn't require surgery. And I think that's part of the message today.
Yep. And some do require surgery, but
Yeah.
if you don't get your foundation in alignment to the best of your possible ability, and this is, I learned this 20 years of working with ladies and men, is that you always have what's called compensation. So as the body heals, it heals in compensatory ways, and then you have to deal with those. So if you can get your body as aligned as possible in whatever tools you can use to do this, then healing becomes much easier and much more down to the science of the way the body's intended to function, you know, and that's what I was trying to get along with her. And she like really, she got it. When she wasn't focused on her wedding, she really focused in on this and said, no, I've been dealing with this my entire life. Okay, now this makes sense, you know.
Yeah. I mean, there are a couple of other examples I'd like to get to as well, because they all come from questions that women have about either a situation that's going on in their life or something that's happened to them, which, you know, maybe after years and years and years, they hadn't thought about this and now they do. Are you finding that women sort of have like a mini awakening and they're asking themselves, okay, wait a minute, I got to find another option. Is there actually one?
Yes, and sometimes the awakening happens in two parts. So I'll refer to a lady that I worked with named Peg. Now, she was actually fitted. She's a senior citizen now, but she was fitted, you know, when she was 15 years old by one of our peers in this business. And she found these bras to be delightful and wonderful, and they worked for her. But that was when she was a teenager. So like anything happens, if you either change your lifestyle or whatever, something happened where there was a huge amount of time where she didn't wear them anymore. And, you know, then she comes back as a senior and she's like, you know, I did have a bra once in my life that actually worked and did what I wanted to do, and I was really happy with it. And so she actually started searching the internet, and she came across my company, and I said, yes, we had those bras way back when, and we discovered that some of the designs are still available and some of the styles are still available. But she had to go full circle through her own life, pretty much, you know, being an experiment in action, trying every other bra on the planet that was out there, and coming back to the one that made her feel the best. And she was not a large cup size either. Her size in the real world would have been like a 32B or high B, low C. You know, we have a different number for that. But, you know, we're talking about somebody who actually had an experience on both ends of their life. So that was one situation that happened.
Oh, one of the other things that it brings to mind for me is like a misconception. And one of the misconceptions I think that's out there is that, wait a minute, you know what these folks are talking about really only apply to people like the Jane Russells, like the people that are more robust. But that's not really what we're talking about here.
No, and that's why I promote the fact that I'm a postural therapist, because that's what I am first. And that's why I take the focus on bras. I mean, really, I never thought, you go back 30 years, I never thought I'd be working with bras for a living. But the thing is I understood so much about the body. And when a woman really does focus on, she can be any size, and these bras are actually going to help her. You know, one of the fitters that I trained in Canada, she was an equestrian, and we're going to talk more about her, you know, in the next session. But she came to me because not only was she a massage therapist, but riding horses caused her to bounce so much, and she wasn't a larger cup size necessarily, and it was painful. But the sports bras, you know, that were out on the market at that time, and we're talking about probably 20 years ago, were not sufficient at all. If you've ever, you know, been on a horse, you know that is a substantial amount of bounce. And so, you know, it doesn't matter what size a woman is. She's going to have different reasons for wanting to be fitted for her body type. And it may be the weight of her breasts, and it may be other things. But we have sizes that go from 26A all the way up to 56, K, something like that, and then we can alter to make them outside of those ranges. But every woman who has breasts has had some experience with bras where they maybe want to do better if they can. They either want to do a lot better or they want to look at a different focus. But, as you said, this is about options. And women often don't know they have other options.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, I know we're going to touch upon as we move forward is the fact that I would have thought by now that if any industry was going to change and evolve, it would have been this industry in the arena of sports and sports bras. And when you look out in the world, clearly they have made some changes. But for the mainstream population, I'm telling you, it's the same old stuff out there today for me when I go look as it was 20, 30 years ago.
Well,
except that some of them are not made as well either.
That's why I created a whole segment, for us to talk about sports application and that, because we need to address it. But, the thing is the industry as a whole can change, but we're so used to, as a culture, mass production and get it quick. And so, with that comes compromise, and compromises that are not, in my opinion, compromises that should have to be made, with, let's say, lesser supportive fabrics or other things like that. And so, where you compromise may not be in this situation if you know better and you have other options.
I agree. And, I want to thank you, Maria, for today. Again, please let folks know how they can find out more about you, how they can contact you, and what's a personal message? What do you want to leave us with today?
So the Healthy Bra Company is www.thehealthybracompany.com, all spelled out. My phone number is 360-815-3205. And I think I'll just leave the same message I left before. If somebody's just tuning in for the first time and they haven't listened to the first episode, that there's hope. There are women from all walks of life, and at this point, I should say all jogs of life, who are looking for maybe other options that they haven't tried before. And so there's absolutely hope that there is something out there that perhaps you have not tried before, looking at you more specifically.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so very much for today.
You're very welcome.
I really appreciate you. And we're not done, folks. We're going to have more information coming from Maria Monti. So make sure you tune in. And by the way, you can find out more about the previous segments we've done. Just go to transformationtalkradio.com or the Dr. Pat Show. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.